Hello, everybody. Let's get going here today. And it's like my face is huge. All right, let's get this show on the road. Go live on the Facebook. Oh, come on. Let's get a name for this deal. Okay, so we are going to be doing an incredible topic today. Big changes with Facebook ads and what's going on in the ads manager. And this is a, probably do this quarterly, big changes, spring 2002. Let's do this group. Okay, let's go live and in cover. I don't know what that means, but I just said it. Okay, so let this baby go live, and my face is huge and I don't know why, maybe because I got that too close to my face. I'm operating out of an old mahogany desk. My tea deal is over there. So if you ever hear a weird noise in the background, that's what that is. It's my tea water boiling. I have a tea addiction, which is not a bad thing, I don't think. Keeps me going. You know, it's so odd with tea. I found that it really helps balance the female hormones. There's a good side benefit of that. So let's get into the topic. I think I'm going to do these updates quarterly, unless it's needed another time. There's some really big changes going on with Facebook ads right now, and especially for lead generation, network marketing, really for anybody, but they're huge, and they've been dropping recently, the last, believe it or not, few months, started last year, but some of these changes are always going on and people don't even know. They're just going on in the background. And so today I wanted to talk about one of the biggest pressing issues that people are having is with the audiences. And I'll get into that in just a minute. You know, I've been running ads on Facebook since about, I think I tried my first ads were like 2013, 20, ironically, Facebook is calling me right now. Sorry, I can't talk to you. 2012, maybe. I think it's the first ads I ran. And I built a Facebook page really fast. And it didn't mean it was any good, right? You know, that was the big thing. And I couldn't convert like prospects to sales, right? You know, it was very interesting. But, you know, I needed to learn some things about marketing. And the thing is, if you're running ads and you're not getting the results you want, you're missing something. You're either missing targeting to the right group of people, you're missing giving them what they want, you're missing like fundamental pieces that psychologically bring somebody from, I don't know this person yet, to having a connection and a relationship. I mean, there's many steps, there's many things that make this, you know, lead generation thing work and the whole thing spin and give you results like enrollments. And if you're missing, like I said, any of those, you're not doing any of those pieces right, then you're going to light your money on fire in the Facebook Ads Manager. And so I'm not going to get into all that here. I'll put a link, depending on how you're watching this. If you're watching the rebroadcast here on Facebook, then I'll put the link above so you can watch more about Facebook ads and training on Facebook ads. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast platform, then the link will be below where you can go and watch more about Facebook ads and how they really work. I mean, it's a multi-step process. It's not go in, click the ad, and then all of a sudden it's live and you're getting all these leads that you're enrolling. It's not like that. There is a system and steps, and it's not, it's, how do I say, it's not intuitive. But once you know the steps and you learn how the psychology of internet marketing works, then you can start doing that, because it's different than if you met somebody at the grocery store in line and how you prospect there versus how you prospect on cold market on the internet, or cold market in the old days when we read print ads. Very similar type of psychology. That's why some of that, when I learned how to do this, I learned from many people. I didn't learn Facebook ads from anybody in network marketing, because nobody has a freaking clue how to run ads for network marketing. I'll tell you that right now. I can tell you that I invested in every course that promised from a network marketer how to show me how to do ads for network marketing, and my money got lit on fire. I think I wasted about $26,000 on ads, on education on ads that didn't work. And I spent about $6,000 on ads that never converted. So it was a lot. It's like $30,000, but it was good training ground on what not to do. And that it really was proof I didn't know what I was doing. So a lot of research and learning and studying and hiring, different types of coaches, learning, how pros do internet marketing outside of my arena is how I figured it out. And I'm not some super genius. I just don't give up. I was going to take this to the grave if I didn't crack it. I was going to, set it out. I had no time limit. I said, I'm going to learn this because I know it works. I just don't know how it works. And so anyways, learn that in that training. The links above or below, depending on where you're watching this. So I want to talk about the ad changes that are here. Let me just share my little screen. I don't have anything complicated to show you here, but these are some big updates. You might have heard about some of these, especially, when we get into the audiences here. The audiences are always changing in Facebook. Always. They're always being updated, overhauled, deleted, redone. I mean, it doesn't stop. But what is going on with the audiences is terrifying a lot of people, because now that you used to maybe run an ad to a certain group of people, you could type it in there in the ads manager, and you're like, I want to run ads to Christian people that like Christian music. Well, that's gone. You can't do that. Anything that could be discriminatory is no longer available in their eyes. Okay. But a lot of companies, MLMs that were big enough to have their own category, those categories are all gone too. So if you used to run ads in a certain way, it's been obliterated, but I will say a few things that, let's see. Yeah, I'll get to there in a second. One thing that I will say about this is that your targeting is more than one thing when you run ads. It's not just when you go into the ads manager and you're creating your little ad and you're like under interests, you're like women who are 40 to 63 that live in Pacific Northwest, and you're choosing those states, and they like golden retrievers, and Christian rock. So your audience is way more than that. It's only a fraction of the success of your ad platform results are going to be from that targeting. Your targeting comes also from other areas. One is what you choose in the ads manager. I would say that's maybe the actual, I don't know, I'm going to make up a number that I think is accurate. That choice of what's in the ads manager is probably only, I'd say 15 to 20% of the influence on your ad results. I know. Everybody would like to take the responsibility of their ad and put it outside of themselves and tell everybody it's the platform's fault when it doesn't work. So what is the other percent? Well, you have the image, which the image is the showstopper. It's the scroll stopper. It is the hard stopper. You know, someone's on the Facebook scrolling, and the first thing they look at is the image. So the image is a really good part. I'm going to go here, is a really good part of your targeting. So I scroll. Ooh, there's this guy lighting money on fire. I stop and look. I have not looked at the first line. I have not looked at the headline. So the number one thing is the image. You know, your image could match the audience targeting. So if you want moms, you might show a picture of a mom with her kids. You know what I'm saying? If you're looking to reach dog owners with your product, you might do pictures of dog owners with their dogs. So, you know, your audience targeting is not just, you're not just at the mercy of what's available in the ads manager. Okay. So the image is of one piece. Another piece of the ad, you know, targeting is the headline and then the lines above the image. So in the past, what we would call this is broad targeting. And so, you know, what people would do is they would write an ad and they would make their audience really big. And then they would let the audience, this big audience, see their ad. And then from that really big audience of, you know, millions of people, then they would let, you know, the audience see the image and the headline, and then those people would start responding within that big audience. So they called it broad targeting. And we kind of do that now in a way, because what we've got is the image that's going to speak to the audience. We also have the headline and the words above the image as well. So that copy, the eye goes from the image to the headline to the top of the ad, most likely. Sometimes it's a little flipped, but in general, that's kind of how it goes. So your targeting will also come from there. So if you're crying and worried about Facebook completely gutting and overhauling the ads manager, it's not worth your tears. Okay, I got to tell you that. The other way that Facebook targeting works is that the Facebook algorithm is so powerful now that what happens is your ad is written and then it goes in the ads manager, and then you select some of your broad targeting. Okay. And, you know, you're going in there and you're like, men or women that live here that are interested in working out or whatever it is. But the real targeting comes from somewhere else. And it's the algorithm. Because what happens is, you know, to be truthful, the audiences even in the past sucked. They sucked. Okay, they really sucked. And that's why you can put it out there and you get like all kinds of weird people, you know, responding. But what really happens where the real targeting comes in, you know, you got the right image, you got the right words, you know, you're doing your thing. And that's about 60% or maybe 50% of what's going on. But then when it's shown in Facebook, I would say, you know, like I said, about, you know, 15 to 20% max is kind of getting that ad in front of the right people. In general, it's kind of like a big bucket being shown to those people. But where the real magic happens is the algorithm. And so when somebody like, say, women that live in the Pacific Northwest who have golden retrievers and they like to work out or whatever, they kind of show it to that group of people that they think might be interested based off their behaviors and what they post. They might have golden retrievers, they might not. They may have worked out once in their life. I mean, we don't really know. But when people start to respond, click, click, reading more, click, opt in, click, opt in. Facebook, the real targeting happens here, because Facebook will look at the people who are responding and then look at their demographic. Who is that person? Who's Mary Jane? Who's Tom Jones? Who's this? Who's that? And they look at that audience, that person number 1, person number 2, person number 3, person number 4, and on, who are responding to these ads. And Facebook looks at the demographic, the behaviors, the action of those people, and they go and find more like that. Because they're thinking, well, these people are really a good match. They're responding, they're opting in, they're leaving comments on the ad, they're clicking on the ad, they're sharing the ad. And Facebook looks at that person and their demographic, like I said, all the things about them, all these data points, and goes and finds more people that they think are like those people that would be a good match for your ad. That is where the real targeting is happening now. It's the algorithm. And it's exciting because the old way of, trying to find people that, matched all those little boxes in the ads manager, honestly, that hasn't worked like that in years and years. The algorithm has taken over for quite a long time in matching with the targeting. It's gotten better and better. I mean, it always was there, but over time, it's getting better and better and more intelligent. So our real targeting is coming in, we're setting ourselves up for success in the image, the headline, the words above the ad, all that is getting us set up for success. And then we tell Facebook, here's a general group of people I want you to target in the audience. Women, men that live here, that have some general interests. But when that ad goes out there, Facebook is really looking at who is responding. And they go find more people like that. And that's the next level of targeting that is happening now. So don't worry that the fact that your audiences have gone out the window, because it's okay. The other thing outside of that is, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Here's my little slide that I made. The other thing that's really exciting is that the lookalike audiences and the custom audiences in Facebook are even better than ever. Like I've had so many of my clients that say, I've been telling them, I'm like, look, you have enough data right now in your ad results through your opt-ins or even your engagements or whatever, because I set people up right away when I start working with them to start building their own audiences from scratch. And I tell them, I'm like, trust me, you're ready for a custom audience. And they, I don't know, and then they finally get one up and they use their own data to make their own audience. And I get emails that say, oh my gosh, this ad is way better than my other ad of just using straight up Facebook interest groups. And I said, well, yeah, they want you to use those custom audiences. They want you to use the lookalikes. They want you to do retargeting ads. And I call it burning a lookalike audience. Once you have, put in your dues, I call it the ladder of perfect prospects, right? You got to start at the bottom with the interest groups. You've got to, my cat is here licking my arm right here. You can't see her, but she's like staring at me. It's time for second breakfast. See? Yeah, I know these people need to learn first and then I'll feed you. She's like, food. He's so cute. So, people are, concerned about what's happened, but the ladder, like I said, the ladder of perfect prospects really takes over because the interest groups, they were never the be all end all. and the fact that Facebook has decimated those and cleaned them out, A, because they were old, and B, because some of it was, creating some possible legal issues for Facebook that, we've seen in the news and privacy and all that stuff. And it's only going to get worse unless you know how to do these custom audiences. And, the real power is happening now with these programs, algorithms that are really trying to give you the best opportunity as an advertiser by matching the people that are already responding to your ads, which is super cool. It can also work in your, not in your favor, the opposite, when the wrong people start clicking on your ad, and then you got to kind of fix things. But it does happen. But, what do you do now? You get better at your craft. You understand how images work, you understand how the copy works, but then as soon as possible, you start creating your own audiences, because truly the audiences sucked before. I'm just going to tell you, the general targeting sucked before. And now, even when you choose those little options in the ads manager, you think that that's where your audience is, being pulled from, and it's not. Facebook has been using targeting expansion for quite a while now, where they've been seeking outside of that core audience, because what they're doing is they're looking for people who are responding to your ad. And then they're showing it to more people who respond to your ad. So if you've got an audience size of 1 million people, and there, a couple of people start targeting, or that you're targeting in that little pool of 1 million people. So Facebook before would just stay within that pool of 1 million, but now they're going out and they call it the targeting expansion, and they're trying to match with more and more people. So it's actually better than it was in the past. I just launched some new ads the other day, trying a new, I guess you'd say, new strategy. And, the first couple of days, the ad results sucked. But I know better. I wouldn't say, oh my God, the world is ending, these ads suck. I know that it takes 3 to 5 days minimally, more like 5 days, especially on a brand new ad. Once we kind of know that it's working, it takes time for Facebook to show it to the people that are in your general bucket audience. And they're showing the different images you're testing, and they're showing it to the groups of people, and they're trying to find who responds. And then over the course of the days to come, they start to dial it in. So for example, the other day, within the first 2 days, that lead price was like $30 a lead. And then today is day 5, I think, on that ad. I'm going to look here and see which day it launched. It launched on the 18th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Today is day 6. And I'm down to like $10 a lead on that one. Because at first it looked, it didn't know what to do. It's a new ad. And so as Facebook is given a little time and let the algorithm do its magic, it's finding the right people to show that ad to. And now I'm getting really good lead prices. Okay. Prices aren't everything either. Quality is more important than price. So cheap leads can often be more expensive because they're waste. So that's a whole different topic. But I just want you to know, if you're really worried about what's going on in the ads manager, it's actually better than ever. And it was already crap that the targeting audience buckets, that you choose when you're creating an ad, they weren't great before. What's really, really the best thing outside of targeting through your images and your words is let the algorithm do its thing. And you've got to give it time. You've got to give it at least 3 to 5 days. I have a lot of ads. The longer they run, I'm talking weeks, the better they get, because it's really dialing in that, people who are responding to the ad. It keeps finding more and more people that match that, profile. So there's that. I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. I also want to talk about audience insights. This is helpful when you're launching a new ad. I want to come over here and make sure that this is working for you. Let me go into here. Audience insights. Hopefully I am not logged out. Oh, good. So this is when you go into audience insights. There used to be the old insights, and this is the new one. And this is helpful when you're first starting. I didn't click the button because I wanted you to see what you're going to see. So get started. I don't use this really anymore, but for the new person that is coming in, you can come over here and, get some idea of where, this is interesting. Walmart's the top page of the entire Facebook. I always laugh. This Tasty is right there next to Walmart. And I, for the longest time, never knew, like, Amazon, Target, Facebook, yada, yada, yada. So you can come over here under this not so obvious button called the filter, and you can play with this. United States. There we go. United States demographic. Let's look at people who are 35 to 65, go to 64. Let's look at women. Okay, this gives us a general idea on Facebook. There's 55 to 65 million people. But if I wanted to, I don't speak any other languages other than English and Pig Latin. I kind of speak a little bit of Spanish, but it's pretty pathetic. But then I want to come in here, and this is how you can plan your audiences before you create the ad a little bit. Like I said, this is not the be all end all. Your ability and skill to do this is not going to make or break your ad. But I might put in here dog training. Okay. This audience is massive, right? 16. You want it smaller than that, but that gives you some idea. Like, oh, that's a big one, right? You might add that in. You could also look at parents, parenting magazine, 7.5 to 8.5 million. You could find that. But if you put anything in now with Christian, there is no Christian. It's just a couple names like Christian Bale and Christian Dior. But there used to be a massive audience of Christian rock. Even with here, if you try to put in anything with LGBTQ used to be in the old ads manager, and you can't put it in. Even, what was the other one? Some big ones. I chose, what was it? TD Jakes. He was, it's like a Christian motivational, inspirational guy. He's gone. So does that matter? No. So if I was running ads to Christians, should I just throw in the towel and cry? No. Use images that show families, show images that maybe somebody's wearing a cross, like show somebody that might be reading a Bible, or, you know what I mean? Like, you got to get creative here to do some of that targeting outside of that. So if I wanted to go after people that that are healthier, and maybe I would look at like organic food, that's a massive audience of 21 million. I would bring that down a little bit, add in a layer of like married, or, change the demographic to be a little smaller than the United States. Maybe I want to do people that live in California. There we go. A little better, smaller, a little smaller, not bazillion people. But you could layer stuff to bring it down to a couple million. But where would you really do your targeting? If you want to go after Christians that want more, like better quality food, you would do that other part of the quote sensitive targeting in through the ad, in the words of the ad. Okay. That's how we do it. You would illustrate that through your image and your copy. Like even with network marketing, we've got some of the network marketing people here that you could choose from. But, if you're running ads to network marketers, I'm going to tell you, your best audience is not going to be to run it to people in network marketing. They're even like work from home. That used to be a big one, work from home. Now it's telecommuting. But, you know, stay-at-home mom, that's not a very big audience. That wouldn't be big enough to really do your thing, right? That would be an audience would burn out pretty fast. So if you want to make this bigger, but how do you show, you know, this to stay-at-home moms? Remember, most of your targeting is going to be in your image and your words. And also, once you put it out there, you know, you could change the age group and, you know, kind of dial it in. But once people start responding, Facebook is going to, you know, start doing its magic with the algorithm. But, you know, you can use this insight tool that is available to give you an idea of, you know, where, you know, to even begin your targeting in the ads manager, because these little things here are available in the ads manager. So you might look and go, okay, working parent, that's 469 to 552. That's not really a big enough audience. Let's see. The Fairly Odd Parents. I mean, it's so weird. Some of these, I wonder, like, where do these ideas come up for this? But parenting overall is 3 to 6 million, right? If I get rid of working parents, it's not even going to change the size. So you could start here in the ads manager when you go in there, and this should be in there, parenting. There's also demographics of parents of children that are in high school, parents of children that are of certain ages, et cetera. So you can really kind of narrow it down a little bit. I like to see this number at a couple million, but remember, this is not the be all end all of your targeting. You know, you want to have a couple million. I like to see between 1 and 2 million people in the actual number when you're in the ads manager writing an ad. But then you've got, like I said, I will stress it again, your targeting is going to be only so much. But when the algorithm starts to do its work, it's going to see, you know, after people start responding to your ad, that's where the real magic is going to happen, as they seek out people like the people that are responding to your ad. Okay. So it's really not the audience apocalypse, you know, or what I've heard the term, ad apocalypse or something. I don't know. It's so not right. It's not true. So I really reiterate that. And then the last thing I'm going to leave about the audiences is you are, oh my gosh, I totally flaked out. Oh, to use custom audiences as soon as you can, as soon as possible. So the other thing is that's new is this creative, oops. They kind of changed this, didn't they? How they show you errors in spelling and whatever. So the Creative Hub, this is newer, kind of newer. It's been there a little bit, but it is, where is it at here? Here it is. Nope, that's not the right one. I'm looking for the Creative Hub to show you. Maybe it's over here. I opened all these tabs last night for you so that they're here. And I'm like, where do they go? Okay, let me go to Creative Hub. Actually, let me go here. I'm trying to move this out of the way. I'll show you where it is. Okay, so you go here to your little deal, like where you navigate. You scroll down to Creative Hub. There's Creative Hub and Campaign Planner. My head's over here. Bring me back down. Creative Hub is where you can play with mockups. So you know how to your ad. This is new, by the way. This is another change. It's been here, but it's getting better and cooler, and you can actually save templates and things like that. Especially, like, I'm not the type of person that runs like 40,000 different ads. I test ads, and every time I test an ad and I've got one running, I always try to beat the old one with some little changes. And I run a handful of ads, maybe a half a dozen ads, you know, campaigns. but really they're all the same ad with different variables, like the audience is different or maybe some different images, but the copy and the headlines and all that and where I'm sending them is the same. And I use that ad a lot, obviously, and when I'm redoing it or, resetting them or whatever, that template being saved somewhere would be really handy. So I didn't need to rebuild it every time. I could just go in and choose a template. And this is, right here, you can use this feature in the Creative Hub where you can create a mock-up and have some fun with, this will walk you through this, where you can see what it looks like in the feed, in the marketplace, in the columns. I mean, we don't use right-hand column, but you could come in and let's go to Jen Springer, and you could see, what these things would look like. So hold on, I'm trying to get this out of the way so my face is in here. I'm trying to put this in a good spot. There we go. So you could call this whatever. And you could come through and add your photos. You could add your video. You could put your text in here, your headline, all these wonderful little things, and you can save it as a template. But the other side of this is it will show you like testing 1, 2, 3. My awesome test. I'll just choose an image. Hopefully there's one here I can pick. This is a good one. Sometimes this, when you're doing this, actually looks better. When you see how crappy it looks like that, you want to come in. That actually looks really good. The original, it looks terrible, so they'll put it in here so it looks better. But when we come in here, you can see what this ad is going to look like on the different areas. So you can change it. But if you notice in this Creative Hub, here I put in my testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. That's the primary text. My headline is my awesome headline, which you should only see in the feed. You should be able to see this below here. And I don't know why you can't, but oh, here it is. It's right below here. But this will give you an idea of what things look like on different placements, and you can play with it. And what you can do is create a template and you can save it. So then when you go into your ads manager and you're running the ad, you can actually go pull that template in. So this is a newer feature. This is something that Facebook is still working on. It's actually really helpful. You can see things in here that, ow, I just hit my toe under the desk, that allow you to see things before you spend all the time mocking it up. And you can also share this template if you wanted. I'm not going to do that right now, but you can share it with others, collaborate, and save it for later. Like I said, if you're running an ad a lot, like I am, and I'm running it over and over and over and over, and I don't want to be copying and pasting every time I redo my ads and reset them, just create it as a template and go in there. And then when you run your ad, you can pull it in and like all the things are in the right spot waiting for you. And you don't need to recreate it from scratch. So that's a newer feature as well. So that's pretty cool. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is integrations. This is a higher level thing for people running ads, but I've had some people will have issues with this and some people won't. The thirst was getting me. So if you're running ads where you're using Zapier to cart the data from Facebook over to wherever your CRM, whatever you're dumping people into, a spreadsheet, emails, texting services, when you're pulling that data using Zapier is like the little bus that brings people from point A to point B and drops them off. If you're doing that, I had this issue myself the other day. when you're in your business manager, you've got to come here under, this is new. And it's not going to be for everybody. Some people might not have a problem, but I did. So I'm going to show this because this is a new thing. And I've seen it come up a couple times, and some of you may have this issue. So my Zapier was working just fine, but the data wasn't being pulled. It was like everything was testing fine in Zapier. I had no problem, but it wasn't actually pulling people from Facebook over to my spreadsheets and where I track stuff. So I had a client this happened with recently, and he had to change some settings. And I'm like, I forgot which settings it was. So I reached out to Zapier and they showed me the settings. I'm going to show you as well. So in your business settings, you come here under integrations, under leads access. So you just open this little window. Boop, oops, that's not it. Right there, leads access. You click on that. You have to assign a CRM. And when you click on that, it gives you the option to connect Zapier. And then it will show up right here as the CRM. Okay, like here, if I click on CRM, it doesn't show anything yet. I haven't run any ads through likes to leads that would need this thing. So if you want to assign a CRM, you'd come in here and you would, let me go to here. It should put in Zapier. I had Zapier in there before. Sorry, CRM. Oops, I did it yesterday. Priest scrolled through the list. Oops, not showing me on this one, but it did on this one. It showed up just fine. You have to come in here, and this is where it's going to be. Okay, you fart around with it. I farted around with this one and got it to work, no problem. But if you don't do this and put this, allow this access through the back end of your business settings, through this little area hiding under integrations, it won't pull the people necessarily. Now, if you're running ads right now and your Zapier is working just fine, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you are in here and your zaps aren't pulling the data from Facebook to wherever you want to go, and you're having an issue with this, just email Zapier and they'll help you with it. But this is a little thing that's tucked into the back of the ads manager that is new, that you have to give access to your CRM. And in this case, it's actually Zapier. You know, Zapier is the bus that's pulling. So it's just a little complicated sometimes, but this was another thing that was new that we ran across that's creating an issue. Some of the other things in Facebook that you must do is, and I've mentioned this before in other updates, make sure your two-factor authentication is on in your personal profile. Very important, because when you pull yourself in here, it won't let you do that. Trying to think if there's any other little doodads in here that are really important. Really, no. Yeah, I mean, there's always things changing. The buttons move all the time, but for our purposes, really, that is about it. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's anything else. I just want to show you this one. This is the probably one of the most significant changes in the back here in case you're running ads using Zapier. So just to give a real quick recap, this is one of the things, if you're using Zapier and it's not working, it could be because under integrations here with leads access, the CRM has not been granted to Zapier. So that's one thing. The second thing is going back here is the Creative Hub, where you can mock up your ads and see what they look like and save them as a template. That's new. There's also the Creative Hub in the back of your page, where you can, create your posts and do all this other stuff. And that's a whole different thing that you can use in the back of your page itself, where you can, have a good time. It's very similar to what we're doing here. Like, let me see if I can go there and show you. They call it the Creative Studio. So that's not confusing, is it? Creative Studio here is where you can play with all your posts and, look at all. See, I don't even use this, but I know it's here. So let's just get rid of that. Creative Studio is where you can do all kinds of cool things, to create posts and etc. So Creative Studio is in the back of the page. Creative Hub is in the Ads Manager, where you come in here and drop this down. You're going to find the Creative Hub, and that's for ads. Creative Hub, ads, Creator Studio, posts for the page. I know it's never easy, right? It's never clear and simple. So that's the difference between those two. But really, the biggest change I want to emphasize on is what the things I said about the Ads Manager and the audiences, because everybody's pooping in their pants, panicking, going to the bar, drinking their sorrows away because they're worried their audiences are going to be decimated now that Facebook got rid of, all these things. And if you log into your Ads Manager and you see at the top, there's a bar that goes across like, we have eliminated your, audiences that are no longer available, and, whatever, just close it out. If you've any ads that are running live, it'll be a problem. Like, you just need to change it up. It's not a big deal. If you have enough data and you've been running ads long enough, start making your own custom audiences. You got to do it. They're better anyways. So anyways, that's the biggest thing. I wanted to soothe any worries and panic that you were having about the audience changes in the Ads Manager, because a lot of people are freaking out. Not worth freaking out. The algorithm knows all, unfortunately, way more than you wanted to know. But that is coming into your favor as an advertiser, so that everybody was thinking that their selection in the Ads Manager under audiences was really what was making or breaking their ads. And that's really not true. It hasn't been that like for a long time. The algorithm keeps getting better and better. Let it do its work for you. When you fire off your ads, let them run for at least 3 to 5 days before you turn them off if you think they're bad, because they may not be bad. The algorithm needs to figure out who that is the right audience for that, that campaign you're running. So anyways, that's my update for right now. If we have any other big, massive updates between now and probably do another update in June, July, depending on what's going on with the Ads Manager. It might be nothing exciting, but if there is stuff, always stay tuned here in this community. I will post things so that you can know what is happening, especially something as big as this with the audiences. You've seen the warnings in the Ads Manager and all that other stuff. I don't know if I could possibly pull it up. Let me see if I can do that and show you the scary warning that you're getting. Oh, I'll show you. It's here. I've got old audiences that are like ancient. Maybe they are not. They stopped showing the warning. Let's go in here. You'll know if you go into the Business Manager into your ads account, you'll see. Oh no. Nope. Let's go into here. I will show you this right now. Ads Manager old. I will show you this and show you that. Sometimes this is so slow. Take a nap, drink some tea. Okay. They've removed it. So that's because they've deleted all the old. If you might still have a bar going across. I don't have it anymore. If you see it in here. Oh, there it is. It popped in. If you have this, like I'm like, I didn't see it. It just finally popped in. You will see this, and this is the warning that they're giving. But if you see your affected ad sets, it could be really old ads. If it's current ad sets, you need to make your changes and relaunch your ads. But these, if I click on this, these are ads that I had in here from like, 4 years ago or something like that. So it doesn't really matter. My current ads are all up to date, but if you have ads that are running that are old, you're going to need to go in there if you're using old audiences. So anyways, that is it. Again, this is Jen Springer, Likes the Leads. Here we are live doing our Wednesday morning training. Be sure to add folks to this group so that they can get the training as well. These are only in here limited live for so long, and then we move it into an archive. And that archive is building right now. And but if you want the live to be able to do this and be able to do the live training with me here, I will come back and look at the questions at the end. I'll look at the chat, it's below the video after this is over. So if you get any questions in there, I will be answering those. And yep, there's a lot of different things here that we are going to be talking about, and I'm sure you might have questions. So write it below the video, and then I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful week. And I'm going to stop my share and stop the training. And thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope it was helpful. Bye-bye.